Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttamaśloke Bhaktirabhavati Naistiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Svapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 17. Mahārāja Pṛthu becomes angry at earth. So, till where we have reached, Prabhuji?
We are on text 9, Prabhuji.
Text 9, just a minute. Yeah. We'll just go through the text. Text 5. So here, Vidura's inquiry, they are continuing. The great saintly king Mahārāja Pṛthu received knowledge from Sanat Kumar, who was the greatest Vedic scholar. After receiving the knowledge to be applied practically in his life, important point, how did the saintly king attain his desired destination? Okay, so what did he do, Pṛthu Maharaj, after receiving knowledge from Sanat Kumar, who is a known authority in the Vedas? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that there is a sampradaya called as Kumar Sampradaya, and this Kumar Sampradaya is headed by Sanat Kumar. So there are 4 sampradayas, and later, you know that in otherwise in Kali Yuga, the problem is that there will be many different types of sampradayas, and they will call themselves to be sampradaya. Prabhupada says many sampradayas have sprung up without authority, and they are misleading the people in general, giving unauthorized mantra. So whenever we receive mantra, it is very important that we receive it from sampradaya. So we are not the only sampradaya. ISKCON comes in the part of Madhva Sampradaya, right? So there is a Madhva Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya. And mantra is typically to be received from these sampradaya. These are the 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya. And then there is Shankara Sampradaya, which is the Advaita Mat. This is the 5th one, which is in the Advaita Vada. And the Vedas very clearly say, Sampradaya Vihinaste Mantraste Nishfalamatah. That one has to chant the mantra by receiving the mantra, by accepting a guru from a sampradaya, and one has to follow the principles of this disciplic succession. However, in Kali Yuga, there will be, so many different sampradaya. ISKCON is part of Madhva Sampradaya, and it is not that only ISKCON, we are only genuine people. No, there are many more people. There are Shri Sampradaya, there is a Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya starts with Lord Shiva. He is the Adi Acharya of the Rudra Sampradaya, but it's a Vaishnava Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya is a Vaishnava Sampradaya. And then there is Kumara Sampradaya. So here, Sanat Kumar is the head of this Kumara Sampradaya. So Pṛthu Maharaj here showed the example how to receive the knowledge and also how to apply. So Guru of Pṛthu Maharaj is Sanat Kumar. Very important. Right. So even the great personality is accepting spiritual master. Even Pṛthu Maharaj himself is the incarnation of the Lord, but he himself is accepting the spiritual master. Text 6 and 7. Very beautiful verse here. So we'll just यच्चान्यदपि कृष्णस्य यश्चान्यदपि कृष्णस्य भवान् भगवतः प्रभो श्रवः सुश्रवसः पुण्यं पूर्वदेह कथाश्रयं भक्ताय मे अनुरक्ताय तव च अधोक्षजस्य च वक्तमर्हसि तुं य अद्वैयात् वन्यरूपेण गामि माम्. Very nice verse. Pṛthu Maharaj was a powerful incarnation of Lord Krishna's potencies. Consequently, any narration concerning his activities is surely very pleasing to hear. Shravaha. It produces the good fortune. Sushravaha. And Punyam produces the good fortune. As far as I am concerned, I am always your devotee as well as the devotee of the Lord, who is known as Adhokshaja. Please therefore narrate all the stories of Pṛthu Maharaj, who, in the form of the son of the King Vena, milk the cow-shaped earth. Right, all the stories. How beautifully saying. Vidura is praying to Maitreya Muni. Shravaha, Sushravaha, Punya. My dear Lord, my dear sir, the activities of the Lord are very pleasing to hear and they produce all good fortune. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Right. The way Vidura is putting forward the inquiry and he's saying, my dear Maitreya ji, I am your devotee and then I am devotee of the Supreme Lord. So please give me as much mercy as possible. Tell me all the stories of Vainya, the son of Maharaj Pṛthu, a son of Maharaj Vena, who is a Pṛthu Maharaj. I may have inquired something. See, sometimes what happens is we inquire based on our knowledge. But the person who is going to award the knowledge, he is like the oceanic knowledge, right? Then, you know, then we should say that, Prabhuji, please tell me whatever I have inquired and whatever I have not inquired, whatever is good for me. Because I may not have inquired what is, because simply not being aware of the things I may not have inquired. So this is here Vidura is saying, please tell me all the stories of Maharaj Pṛthu. And very beautifully he describes about this. Srila Prabhupada quotes here 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabho mattah sarvam pravartate. Right. And then Pṛthu Maharaj is also incarnation of those qualities of Lord Krishna by which one rules over the conditioned souls. Since one can form only an impersonal idea of the strength of one's material senses, the Lord is known as Adhokshaja. Prabhupada describes about Adhokshaja that we have some idea, but with material senses, what can we imagine? At best, we can imagine material things. So, therefore, the Lord is known as Adhokshaja, and the realization of the Lord happens by association of the devotees. Right. Text 8. This is also a beautiful verse. Sutta uvacha chodito vidurenaiva vasudeva katham prati prasashyatam pritamana Maitreya pratyabhashata. So Sutta Goswami continued. When Vidura became inspired to hear the activities of Lord Krishna in his various incarnations, Maitreya, being very inspired and being very pleased with Vidura, Vasudeva Katham Prati Prashasya Satam, began to praise him. So Vidura, here Maitreya Muni, began to praise Vidura and he said that this is perfect inquiry. So, how to please a spiritual master? This is the secret of pleasing spiritual master. When they asked Srila Prabhupada that, how to please you? And then different devotees expected different answers. Somebody expected book distribution, somebody expected Gurukul. So Prabhupada said, if you simply love Krishna, that is most pleasing to me. And how to love Krishna? the best way to show one's love Krishna means one will want to hear about that person more, and therefore Vasudeva katham pratihi ruchihi, right? Our ruchi to hear Vasudev katha should progressively increase. We should want to know more, our appreciation for devotional service. And here, when Maitreya Muni, he saw the intensity, the great eagerness Vidura has to know about the Vasudeva Katha, he became very, very pleased. He began to glorify Vidura first, and then he will be glorifying the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes in the purport, the symptom of the spiritual talks is that no one feels tired, right? This is where we have to reach. Generally, whenever we chant our rounds, including me much more, that we feel, chalo, khatam ho gaya karke. 16 mala khatam. We are just struggling to reach that mountain of 16 rounds. ऐसे नहीं है. We should reach to a stage where we feel we unconsciously chant 17th round and we'll, oh, it's 17. And then, we reluctantly keep the bead bag away. Right? This is called as Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. Just like, we have currently, it is not that we don't have this experience. We have this experience. One day I was just, scrolling something, and then suddenly I realized my wife shouting at me, "Kiti वेळ झाला? How long you are scrolling?" Then I realized, "Arey bapre, this was the, some YouTube shorts was going on for last 45 minutes." So getting magna chitta absorbed is the nature of a living entity. But currently we get magna chitta absorbed in, the cricket match. Just see how the children, they watch Bharat-Pakistan cricket match. Why children? Many times even adults also, they watch like that. A deep absorption. They will feel every ball being, the balled and every shot being played. So like that, one should look for the deep absorption progressively in our spiritual life. And this is very pleasing to the spiritual master. So here, Maitreya Muni became very pleased. Thus, upon hearing the questions of Vidura, the great sage Maitreya did not feel disgusted, but rather felt encouraged to speak at the great length. Right? He is inquiring, and Maitreya Muni is extremely happy to answer these questions. Text 9. So we come to the today's verse. Maitreya Uvacha यदाभिषक्ता प्रतुरङ्गविप्रार् आमन्त्रितो जनतायाश्च पालः प्रजानिरण्ये क्षितिपृष्ठ एत्य क्षुत्क्षामदेहा पतिमभ्यवोचन्. Translation.
The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, at the time King Pṛthu was enthroned by the great sages and Brahmanas and declared to be the protector of the citizens, there was a scarcity of food grains. The citizens actually became skinny due to starvation. Therefore, they came before the king and informed him of their real situation." Purport. Information is given herein concerning the selection of the king by the Brahmanas. According to the Varnashrama system, the Brahmanas are considered to be the heads of the society and therefore to be situated in the topmost social position. The Varnashrama Dharma, the institution of 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas, is very scientifically designed. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Varnashrama Dharma is not a man-made institution, but is God-made. In this narration, it is clearly indicated that the Brahmanas used to control the royal power. When an evil king like Vena ruled, the Brahmanas would kill him through their Brahmanical powers and would select a proper ruler by testing his qualifications. In other words, the Brahmanas, the intelligent men or great sages, would control the monarchical powers. Here we have an indication of how the Brahmanas elected King Pṛthu to the throne as the protector of the citizens. The citizens, being skinny due to hunger, approached the king and informed him that necessary action should be taken. The structure of the Varnashrama Dharma was so nice that the Brahmanas would guide the head of the state. The head of state would then give protection to the citizens. The Kshatriyas would take charge of protecting the people in general, And under the protection of the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas would protect the cows, produce food grains, and distribute them. Shudras, the working class, would help the higher three classes by manual labor. This is the perfect social system. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So now here, Maitreya Muni, he continued his narration. Pṛthu was enthroned by the great sages and the Brahmanas, and he was declared to be the protector of the citizen. And when he is declared to be protector of the citizen, he is supposed to take charge of that declaration. That was the time when there was a great scarcity of food grains, and the citizens had become skinny due to starvation. And thus the Brahmanas, they informed the real situation. What's happening, sir? This is, you know, so all glorification is wonderful, everything is done, but this is the reality. Now you have to take charge of the situation, right? The very important thing, whenever we receive any role, whenever we receive any, we have to take charge of the situation. पहले होता रहेगा वाह वाह wonderful nice nice, all the goodies will be exchanged, but then we have to take charge of the situation. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes Varnashrama Dharma is very scientific institution and it is God made. And whatever is God made will always remain in one form of or another. And that's why even in the communist state, which always stressed on equality, there is still Varnashram in the form of there is a dictator and there are the citizens. Right. So Chaturvaranyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. The Brahmanas were extremely powerful by the potency of their austerities and the qualities, and they controlled the king. The king was very pious and righteous, and when the king acted otherwise, the Brahmanas dethroned the king and made another personality sit on the throne, and all this from Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Kali Yuga, everything is topsy-turvy. The Varnashram has degraded into Jati Vyavastha, and therefore what we need is Daivi Varnashram. Prabhupada writes here, and then Kshatriyas will do their duty, and then Vaishyas will do their duty, Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijya, and the Shudras, the labor class, they will be serving under the top three. Whenever we say class or any Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, it's all about Guna, Karma, Vibhagashaha, and not by the birth. And this was the perfect social system. And this system was entirely disrupted because of King Vena, and now Mahārāja Pṛthu was required to take charge of this. Text 10. वयं राजन्यजठरेणभितप्ता यथाग्निना कोटरस्तेन वृक्षा त्वामद्य याता शरणं शरण्यं यः साधितो वृत्तिकरः पतिर्नः तन्नो भवानीर्हतुरावतेन्नं क्षुधार्तितानां नरदेवदेव यामन्यनाङ्क्षामः उञ्जितोर्जा वार्तापतिस्त्वं किल लोकपालः. Translation.
Translation. Dear King, just as a tree with a fire burning in the hollow of the trunk gradually dries up, we are drying up due to the fire of hunger in our stomachs. You are the protector of surrendered souls, and you have been appointed to give employment to us. Therefore, we have all come to you for protection. You are not only a king, but the incarnation of God as well. Indeed, you are the king of all kings. You can give us all kinds of occupational engagements, for you are the master of our livelihood. Therefore, O King of all kings, please arrange to satisfy our hunger by the proper distribution of food grains. Please take care of us, lest we soon die for want of food. Purport. It is the duty of the king to see that everyone in the social orders, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, is fully employed in the state. Just as it is the duty of the Brahmanas to elect a proper king, it is the duty of the king to see that all the Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra are fully engaged in their respective occupational duties. It is here indicated that although the people were allowed to perform their duties, they were still unemployed. Although they were not lazy, they still could not produce sufficient food to satisfy their hunger. When the people are perplexed in this way, they should approach the head of the government, and the president or king should take immediate action to mitigate the distress of the people. Hare Krishna.
So the citizens, they approached and they said that, dear king, Vayam Rajan Jatharagni Abhitapta. Just like Yathagnina Kotarasthena Vriksha. Just like the tree which has a fire burning in the hollow of the trunk gradually dries up. We are drying up due to the fire of hunger in our stomach, our Jatharagni. Right? Jatharagni is the Agni that is supposed to be, not supposed to be, that actually does the pachan of the anna that we are eating. And Agni is there, but there is no anna going inside, and that therefore that Agni is actually drying up our entire bodies. You are appointed as our king, and you are not only king, you are the incarnation of the Supreme, you are a Nara Deva Deva, and you are Sharanam Sharanyam, worth personality taking shelter. Please arrange for our employment and hunger and distribution of food grains. Right. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains this is the duty of the king to make everyone fully employed. The king should engage all Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. See, Brahmanas electing king means there will be one of the great personality, the sages. It's not that all Brahmanas are doing king's election. No. Others will be engaged in their own chatururani activities, whatever they are supposed to do. Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan, Dana, Dana, Aparigraha. So it is the duty of the king to engage all these four, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, in their respective occupational duties. So thus people were allowed to perform their duties, and they should be employed properly. And this is how the king is supposed to mitigate the distress of people in general. Text 12. Maitreya Uvacha Pṛthu Prajanam Karunam Nishanyam Paridevitam Dirgham Dadhyau Kurushreshta Nimittam Sva Anvapadyata. Translation.
After hearing this lamentation and seeing the pitiable condition of the citizens, King Pṛthu contemplated this matter for a long time to see if he could find out the underlying causes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. This is how, when Mahārāja Pṛthu came across his citizens, hearing their lamentation and seeing their pitiable condition. They were starving, they were skinny. Sometimes you see some African countries like that. And the glory is that, like Venezuela, Ethiopia, what is their fault? The fault of these countries is that they have the gold mines and oil reserves. They are sitting on gold, yellow gold and black gold. And the Western civilization is so exploitative. They are sitting on the gold mine, and these people are beggars and skinny, like what is being explained here. Right? Just look at the extent of exploitation and the Ugra karma these people are generating. I mean, wheels of the time will change very soon. 500 years down the line, we don't know what will happen. Just like 500 years down the line, nobody imagined Ram Mandir to be erected in India. Time will change and karma will catch up. And karma will catch up in a big, big, big way. Can you imagine some Ethiopia? They are known for gold reserve, and they are known for gold mine and oil reserve. And if you see some of these African countries and the children there, it is so sad. They will, all the bones you can see, complete starvation. And they are sitting on, what is their fault? They have gold mines. Somebody sitting on gold and oil and starving like this. Look at the extent of exploitation. All these Ugra karma is happening. Pṛthu Maharaj, he contemplated for a long time. It was not some hasty action, right? He contemplated for the long time, and he was really upon to identify the underlying cause. Text 13. Iti vyavasito buddhya pragrihita sharasanah sandade vishigam bhume kruddha tripuraha yatha. Translation.
Having arrived at a conclusion, the king took up his bow and arrow and aimed them at the earth, exactly like Lord Shiva, who destroys the whole world out of anger. Purport: King Pṛthu found out the cause for the scarcity of food grains. He could understand that it was not people's fault, for they were not lazy in executing their duties. Rather, the earth was not producing sufficient food grains. This indicates that the earth can produce sufficiently if everything is properly arranged, but sometimes the earth can refuse to prepare food grains for various reasons. The theory that there is a scarcity of food grains due to an increase of population is not a very sound theory. There are other causes that enable Earth to produce profusely or to stop producing. King Pṛthu found out the proper causes and took the necessary steps immediately.
Yeah. So after prolonged contemplation, Pṛthu Maharaj, he arrived at a conclusion. And what was the conclusion? The conclusion was that citizens are working very well. They are engaged in their occupational duties. They are not lazy. But it is the earth which is withdrawing the produce. And therefore, he became angry at earth, just like Tripura. Tripuraha is Kriddha, just like Lord Shiva. He became very angry at Mother Earth. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that the contemplation, Pṛthu Maharaj realized it was not people's fault, but it was the earth which was not producing sufficiently. And therefore, Prabhupada says this theory that population expansion and the food grains, we will be, no. In fact, only land of Maharashtra, this much land, can produce so much of food grains that entire earth can be fed. Entire population can be fed. Right. So there was a proposal by Israel. They said that just give, your Maharashtra agriculture to us. We will feed you, and we will feed entire earth. This much is, this is the capacity of the earth. But the earth withdraws, and that's the reasons what we will be seeing later. Why the earth was withdrawing in her capacity. Text 14. Pravepamana dharani nishamya udayudhayudham chatam Gausati apadravadbhita mrugiva iva mrugu yudruta. Translation.
When the earth saw that King Pṛthu was taking his bow and arrow to kill her, she became very much afraid and began to tremble. She then began to flee, exactly like a deer, which runs very swiftly when followed by a hunter. Being afraid of King Pṛthu, she took the shape of a cow and began to run. Purport. Just as a mother produces various children, both male and female, the womb of a mother earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus, it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. At this time, in order to avoid the wrath of King Pṛthu, she took the shape of a cow. Since a cow is never to be killed, Mother Earth thought it is wise to take the shape of a cow in order to avoid King Pṛthu's arrows. King Pṛthu, however, could understand this fact, and therefore he did not stop chasing the cow-shaped earth. Thank you.
Yeah. So Mother Earth, when she saw Pṛthu very, very angry and pointing the arrows towards her, she began to flee. And Mother Earth is Bahurupini. She can take various forms, and she took a form of a cow and began to run, so that in this form he will not give me any harm. He will not surely kill. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that just like the mother produces various children, the womb of the mother, Bhumi Devata, produces all kinds of living entity, right? The Prithvi Tattva. And therefore, this is not surprising. Prithvi is, Bhumata is Bahurupini. And in order to avoid the wrath of the king, she took a form of the cow and she began to flee. And here is Maharaj Pṛthu chasing Mother Earth. Text 15. तामन्वधावत्ततः वैन्य कुपितो अतिकरुणाक्षणं शरं धनुषि सन्धाय यत्र यत्र पलायते. Translation.
Seeing this, Maharaj Pṛthu became very angry, and his eyes became as red as the early morning sun. Placing an arrow on his bow, he chased the cow-shaped earth wherever she could run. She would run.
Yeah, yatra yatra palayate, wherever this cow was running, Maharaj Pṛthu became very angry, and his eyes became as red as early morning sun. Right, early morning sun is beautiful to behold. So it was anger, but this is not like the anger which is coming from tamoguna or something like that. When we become angry, our eyes are like coppery red. So this was not the anger of Maharaj Pṛthu. Beautiful reddish eyes, like the morning sun. Maharaj Pṛthu became angry at Mother Earth. Text 16. We just see a couple of verses. Only translation is there. 16, 17. 16. Sadisho vidisho devi rodasi chantaram tayo dhavanti tatra tatrainam dadarshanu udyatamayudham.
The cow-shaped
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
The cow-shaped Earth ran here and there in outer space between the heavenly planets and the Earth, and wherever she ran, the king chased her with his bows and arrows. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So this cow-shaped earth, she was running here and there, everywhere on the earth, and then in the outer space. But wherever she reached, the King Pṛthu was chasing her. Text 18, text 17. Lokena vidantam trana vainyan mrityoriva praja trastata nivavritte hridayena viduyata. Translation.
Translation: just as a man cannot escape the cruel hands of death, the cow-shaped earth could not escape the hands of the son of Vena. At length the earth, fearful, her heart aggrieved, turned back in helplessness. Hare Krishna.
So wherever she was running, Vena was behind. Vainya means son of Vena. Pṛthu Maharaj was behind. And thus, just as a man cannot escape the cruel hands of death, the cow-shaped earth could not escape the hands of son of Vena, son of Vena. At the length, the earth, then fearful, her heart aggrieved, turned back in helplessness. How long she can run? And thus she stopped, and now she is going to speak to. There is going to be discussion between Maharaj Pṛthu and Bhudevi. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaurav Tavrit ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhupada.
you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.